What if I told you that every book you've ever read, every note you've ever written, and every newspaper you've ever held exists because of one man's curious experiment with tree bark in ancient China? This isn't just another invention story. This is the tale of how humanity learned to capture thoughts on something lighter than stone, cheaper than silk, and more durable than leaves. The year is 105 CE, and the Han Dynasty rules over a vast Chinese empire. Writing exists, but it's a luxury reserved for the wealthy and powerful. Scholars carve characters into heavy wooden tablets or expensive strips of bamboo. The wealthy write on precious silk, but it costs a fortune. Common people? They scratch messages in dirt or rely on memory alone. In the imperial court of Emperor He, there works a man named Cai Lun. He's a eunuch, castrated as a young boy to serve in the palace without posing a threat to the emperor's bloodline. But don't let his tragic beginnings fool you. Cai Lun possesses an inventive mind that will change the world forever. As an official in the imperial workshop, Cai Lun oversees the production of instruments and weapons. He's surrounded by craftsmen who work with metal, wood, and fabric. Every day he watches them transform raw materials into useful objects. His mind constantly wonders, what if we could do the same with writing materials? The breakthrough comes during what appears to be a routine experiment. Cai Lun is examining different plant fibers, trying to create a cheaper alternative to silk for writing. He's already experimented with hemp fibers and old fishing nets, mixing them with water and letting them dry into crude sheets. The results are promising, but not quite right. Then comes the moment that changes everything. Cai Lun notices mulberry bark soaking in a workshop basin. The inner bark has separated into fine white fibers after days of water exposure. Most people would see waste material. Cai Lun sees opportunity. He collects the soggy bark fibers and adds them to his mixture of hemp, old rags, and fishing net remnants. He pounds the combination into a pulp, adds water, and spreads the mixture on a flat screen to dry. What emerges is unlike anything the world has seen before. A thin, smooth surface, perfect for writing. The first sheet of true paper is born, and Cai Lun barely realizes what he's accomplished. The surface accepts ink beautifully. It's light enough to carry easily. Most importantly, it's cheap to produce using materials that people typically throw away. Cai Lun presents his invention to Emperor He in 105 CE. The emperor immediately grasps its significance. Here's a writing material that costs a fraction of silk's price, while offering superior writing quality to bamboo or wood. The emperor orders Cai Lun to refine the process and begin production. Word spreads quickly through the imperial court. Scholars who once struggled with heavy bamboo tablets now carry lightweight paper scrolls. Government officials can produce documents faster and cheaper than ever before. The Imperial Library begins copying important texts onto paper, preserving knowledge that might otherwise be lost. But the real revolution begins when paper-making techniques spread beyond the palace walls. Chinese craftsmen start producing paper in workshops across the empire. They experiment with different plant fibers, bamboo, rice straw, and various tree barks. Each region develops its own variations, but all trace back to Cai Lun's original process. The impact on Chinese society is immediate and profound. Education becomes more accessible because books cost less to produce. Merchants can keep detailed records without breaking their budgets. Artists create delicate paintings on paper that would be impossible on rough bamboo. Poetry flourishes as writers can easily draft, revise, and share their work. Government administration transforms completely. The Han Dynasty can now maintain detailed records of taxes, laws, and correspondence across their vast empire. Military commanders coordinate campaigns using lightweight paper messages instead of heavy wooden tablets. The efficiency gains help solidify Chinese imperial power for centuries. As Cai Lun's invention spreads, it sparks technological innovations throughout China. Printing techniques improve to take advantage of paper's smooth surface. Bookbinding evolves to handle paper's flexibility. Even artistic styles change as painters and calligraphers explore paper's unique properties. The secret of papermaking remains closely guarded within China for over 500 years. Chinese merchants understand they possess something revolutionary, and they protect their knowledge fiercely. When paper goods appear in foreign markets, They command premium prices because nobody else can replicate the manufacturing process. Then, in 751 CE, everything changes during the Battle of Talas. Chinese forces clash with Arab armies in Central Asia. The Chinese lose, and among the prisoners taken are skilled papermakers. Under interrogation, these craftsmen reveal Cai Lun's centuries-old secrets. Arab merchants quickly grasp paper's commercial potential. They establish paper mills in Baghdad and other major cities. From there, the technology spreads along trade routes to Europe, reaching Spain by 1150 and England by 1495. Each culture adapts the basic process, but the fundamental technique remains unchanged from Cai Lun's original method. The printing press revolution becomes possible only because paper provides an affordable writing surface. Without Cai Lun's invention, Gutenberg's Bible would have been economically impossible to produce. The Renaissance, the scientific revolution, and the Age of Enlightenment all depend on cheap paper-making knowledge accessible. Today, we produce over 400 million tons of paper annually. Every newspaper, every book, every cardboard box traces its lineage back to that moment when Cai Lun noticed soggy mulberry bark in a workshop basin. Modern papermaking uses sophisticated machinery, but the basic principle remains identical. Plant fibers suspended in water, pressed flat, and dried. Cai Lun died in 121 CE, probably never fully comprehending his invention's world-changing impact. He couldn't have imagined that his accidental bark experiment would enable the spread of literacy, democracy, and scientific knowledge across the globe. The next time you pick up a piece of paper, remember Cai Lun. Remember that every written word you encounter exists because one curious eunuch in ancient China decided to experiment with what others considered waste. Sometimes the most revolutionary discoveries come from the most unexpected places, created by people whose names history almost forgot.